Would somebody please answer that?
What you wanna do? Yeah, let's get it. Walk around nappy. What you wanna do? What's going on? Yeah, yeah. Walk around nappy. Walk around nappy. Walk around nappy. What you wanna do? Show 'em how we do it, how we do it. What you wanna do? Show 'em how we do it, how we do it. What you wanna do? Show 'em how we do it, how we do it. What you wanna do? It's on you. One, two, three, four.
All right, shalom, everybody. Happy Sabbath. Before we get started, can everybody hear me? 'Cause I know last time it was some mic issues, so I just want to make sure before I get started, everybody can hear me. You can put a 7 in the chat if you can hear me. I just want to make sure we off to a good start. All right, that's good. Everybody can hear me, so we off to a good start. Before we get started with this lesson, as you guys seen a little bit earlier in the chat, we just asked you guys to pray for for brother Sean Hughes. Some of y'all know him as Sean H. His wife, Sister Sheila, had passed, so we just asked that you lift him and his family up in prayer, because that's a very, very tough thing to deal with. The death of a loved one, that is absolutely no joke at all. So we just pray, brothers and sisters, that y'all lift him up in this hour. But the best thing about it is that Sister Sheila, she died in the Lord, and that is the most important part, brothers and sisters, that when we leave out of here, serving the Lord. That is the most important thing ever. Because some of us, we're going to die young. And some of us, we may make it to an old age. But the most important part, whether you die young or whether you die in your old age, the most important part, brothers and sisters, is that you die in the Lord. Now, today we're going to be taking a look at the book of Ecclesiastes Chapter 1. Now, I was going to do Deuteronomy Chapter 34 and 35, but I was actually led to do Ecclesiastes Chapter 1. So here I go doing Ecclesiastes Chapter 1. And I think that it's timely, brothers and sisters, because the Lord not only had a message for me, but he also had a message for you all. And today you can't see her, but off to the side is Sister Zahara, and she gonna be reading for me today. Now, if you can't take no woman reading, hey, you can feel free to hit the exit, because we don't have time for that, brothers and sisters. Everybody is here in an environment that is peaceful, and we are all here to learn. All right, so we don't have time for all of these senseless and useless divisions. Okay. But before I get started, how's everybody doing, man? Was your week okay? Because I know for some of y'all, man, it's been a rough week, and for some of y'all, it's been a great week. Just let me know how y'all doing. Y'all doing all right? Because I know we don't get to see each other often. Through the week, we just be having so much going on, ripping and running all over the place, trying to take care of children, trying to take care of those who are sick. Okay, that's good, Sister Patricia. Glad you're doing all right. Because we never ask each other. I notice as brothers and sisters, we never ask each other how we're doing. All right, Tommy and Shauna, that's good. Doing good. I hear you on that, Cornell Bates. Hurting, but good. Sharon, yep, long week, but it's the Sabbath. You can finally rest. Okay. All right, Brother Leo, I see you holding up. Devil working fast, but faith in Jesus. That's right. That shield of faith, blocking them fiery darts of Satan. Ira Tucker holding on. Salika is a rough week for me. But yep, that's right. All praises. Yep, Baruch. Typical week in Babylon. The day coming, though, the Lord, He gonna get us out of this madness we in. Love, faith, and hope. Finally doing well. It was a rough 2 weeks, but we, finally back at it. All things are finally going back to normal. All praises to the Most High. Storms had you stranded, Sister Erica. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, Andrea, that be me all week. Exhausted, but can't wait for the Sabbath day. That's good. Will McBride, it was fine, especially yesterday. The Most High blessed me to get my truck fixed. Yeah, amen to that. My car actually going to get ready to go in the shop because my headlights actually went out. So, yep. They want over $500 to replace the headlights. Man, that's highway robbery. Okay, but yeah, man, everything seemed to be going well with y'all. So we're gonna go ahead, brothers and sisters, and get started in this Ecclesiastes chapter 1. None of what I have is pre-planned. I never pre-plan my stuff. I just go straight from the heart, So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Again, I'm gonna have Sister Zahara here reading for me. She off to the side, but y'all can't see her, but she will be doing the reading for me. So we're gonna go ahead, brothers and sisters, and get into it. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 1.
The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem.
Okay, so now, who is this preacher? Who is this son of David that is going to be speaking to us today in Ecclesiastes chapter 1? Because remember, David had many sons. He didn't just have one. He had many sons. Who is this preacher? Who is this son of David that's going to be speaking to us here shortly? Does anybody know who this preacher is in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 1 who's going to be speaking to us here shortly? Who is this son of David? That's right, Rufus 62. Solomon, the wisest king that ever lived and ever graced this earth. Of course, second to Jesus, but in terms of just a man, Solomon was the wisest king that ever walked on this earth. Okay, and one thing that we need to understand about King Solomon is King Solomon, brothers and sisters, he loved the Lord his God, and that is so important. Actually, let's go ahead and go to First Kings chapter 3, because we're going to learn a little bit about King Solomon before we proceed forward in Ecclesiastes chapter 1. So First Kings chapter 3, and we're going to read verse 3.
1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 3. And Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places.
Okay, so the first thing it tells you about this man, Solomon, the son of David, the preacher that is speaking to us in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, is it's telling you that he loved the Lord, not because David loved the Lord, but because he loved him. Because Solomon had his own personal relationship with the Lord. And we too, brothers and sisters, we don't need to be loving the Lord because our parents loved them or our sister or some cousin we had. We need to love the Lord because we love him and because we have our own personal relationship with him. And see, because Solomon loved the Lord, guess what he did? He did, thus saith the Lord. He was obedient to the Lord. And that's what I loved about Solomon. Now, of course, Solomon towards the end, he had a little rocky stint. But overall, he loved the Lord, his God. Okay. And all right. Go ahead and skip down to, now before I move on, because it said Solomon loved the Lord. The problem with the children of Israel is, as we know, a majority of Israel does not love the Lord. Okay. They love the world and everything therein. That's what they love. That's what they're after. Because in the world is pleasure. And we know Israel is a pleasure people. They love pleasure. But see, Israel, they don't love God. They love the idea of him. Does that make sense to everybody? Israel does not love the Lord. They love the idea of the Lord. It's just something cool to say. It's just a cool slogan to say, oh, I love the Lord. It's just lip service, brothers and sisters. But when it comes down to it, the children of Israel, they have no faith in the Lord, their God, at all. No faith at all. Even after all of the things that they seen the Lord do for them, absolutely no faith, won't do nothing he say. But they say they love the Lord because it looks holy. And that's why Israel say it, because in the eyes of everybody around them, it looked holy. It looked like the righteous thing to say. Yeah, boy, I love the Lord. Ooh, I love me some God. But what did Jesus say? He said, their heart is far from me. Because if you love the Lord, you would show the love of God to your brothers and sisters. And Israel is not doing that. And that's why our communities are a mess. That's why we don't own nothing. And that's why we can't sit in a room with each other for more than 5 minutes without fighting. Some heathen got to come in and break it up. All right. But let's keep going, because I don't want to get stuck on that, brother. So I can go down that rabbit hole all day. So we're going to skip down to verse 6. And you can go ahead and read, Zahar.
And Solomon said, Thou hast shewed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy.
Okay, stop right there. So Solomon says that, the Lord showed David, his father, great mercy. And we know that David was a God after a man after God's own heart. And we know that David, he sinned a great sin. But overall, just like Solomon, he loved the Lord. Now, see, how did he show David great mercy, though? Because he protected David throughout his whole youth. Now, David didn't know it, of course. He had no idea. But the Lord was always with him. From his youth on up, always protecting him, always keeping him. Because I hope we do realize that the Lord didn't have to do anything that he did for David. He didn't have to put him on the throne, make him king. He didn't have to do none of that. He could have kept David up to the point of Saul and let Saul spear him with the javelin and kill him early. So the Lord don't have to do nothing for us. But it's that mercy that allows him to look out for us and to keep us and to exalt us. He makes us king. He gives us majesty and glory, but he don't got to do none of that. The fact that you're breathing today, the fact that you woke up this morning in your right mind, you do know there's people that woke up this morning, but they didn't wake up in their right mind. They had to call the psychiatric center because the husband or the wife woke up and they were just crazy out their mind. Got to take them to the psych ward. Some people woke up this morning, they couldn't feel their feet. They woke up, oh Lord, I can't feel my feet. So it's great mercy that the Lord allow you to wake up with all your faculties in place. Little simple things. The Lord letting you eat every day. He letting you drink every day. You got clothes on your back that he provided for you. Man think they doing it off of their own strength. The Lord provided that for you. Because without his breath of life and his strength, those other things aren't possible. So he's feeding you. He's putting clothes on your back. He's taking care of you, your wife, your husband, and the children. He's doing all of these things, even though he don't have to. That just shows you how much mercy the Lord has. Okay, but you can keep reading because I don't want to get stuck.
Right. 6 middle. According as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day.
And I will even say, as it is this day, because the Son is still occupying the throne, brothers and sisters. You know who that Son is? That Son is Jesus. He is occupying the throne to this day, still keeping his promise to David. Now, I like how it says that David walked before the Lord in the truth, but notice how it said he walked. It didn't say David and Jonathan, David and some of his other men. No, it said he walked. Because this, at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, we are all one body, but never forget, this is an individual walk. You got to make sure you're walking the straight and narrow. Because in the day of judgment, you're going to be held accountable for the things that you said. You're going to be held accountable for the things you did. You being in some clique, you being in some group is not going to help you. You got to walk with the Lord. You got to be upright in heart. And because David loved the Lord, hey, the Lord not only made him king, but he put a son to proceed after him on the throne. And he didn't have to do that. He could have just said, well, once David get old and, he died, whatnot, I'm just going to put another Israelite on the throne from a different lineage. No, he didn't do that. He said, you know what? I'm going to make sure David has a successor. Because remember, nobody can charge God and say he wrong. Because the fact that not only Israel, but all humanity is still breathing right now, that is a miracle. So the Lord could have easily said, no, I'm going to just let David die, and then I'm going to put another Israelite on the throne, and I'm going to let him do his thing. No, he showed mercy. That's what I love about the Lord, because he didn't have to do what he did. All right, you can keep reading, Zara.
Verse 7. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father. And I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in.
Now, see, long before Daniel came on the scene, we see that Solomon had some wisdom, brothers and sisters. Of course, wisdom that the Lord gave him. But we see here that Solomon had wisdom. He said, thou hast made thy servant. He talked about himself. You have made me king in the stead of David, my father. So he understood who put kings in power. We can't just let that go by, brothers. He understood that. Thou hast made me king. But see, the problem with man today is they think by their own wit, by their own cunningness, by their own intellect, that they put themselves in the positions that they are in today. I am the CEO because I went to school, Harvard actually, for 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. I went through this program, and after the program, I got introduced to this job. The job really said they liked me. They liked the leadership. Listen here, man. It didn't have nothing to do with that's carnal stuff. You got in that place because God said, make him the CEO. Why, Lord? I just feel like making him the CEO. The man's stupid and everything, just a mess. He a brute. But God said, well, it don't matter. I just feel like having him be the CEO. And that's how men get in the position that they are in. That's why in all things that you do, brothers and sisters, you must acknowledge the Lord, because it is the Lord that puts you and walks you on the path to where you're going and to getting where you're at, if that makes sense. But long before Daniel, Solomon understood that. And long before Solomon, Jacob, Isaac, Abraham, they understood that the Lord run this thing. And I've always been trying to hammer that in on every lesson that I do. I'm trying to get y'all to see the Lord run this thing. I mean, I'm serious, y'all. I'm not playing. It's the ultimate puppet show. I call it a stage play. Everybody's outcomes is predetermined. And that's a hard thing to think about. And see, man don't want to think about that type of stuff. See, this is why man, they want to go to the club, want to smoke, drink. They want to do all of this stuff so they don't have to think about how it's a God controlling everything, a God that they have to answer to. They work themselves to death because I don't want to think about this. Well, you going to think about it when you get ready to leave up out of this earth or Christ come back. Oh, trust me, you're going to face the music one way or another. So just face it right now. Just face it right now and we can avoid the other stuff. Okay. Where we was at?
Verse 8.
Okay. Oh, now here we go. I meant to touch on this verse 7 real quick at the end. It says, I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or to come in. So in other words, Solomon is humbling himself before God and he's asking the Lord pretty much for guidance. Lord, I need guidance. He's putting his pride up. I'm not smart. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Because, you know, you got some men, they get on the throne and stuff. They just know what they doing, get in management. And I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Solomon said, listen, I don't know what I'm doing. This is crazy. I need some guidance. I need some help. And for a man to say that he needs help and that he needs guidance, I mean, that is huge. Now, women are more likely to say that, but a lot of men have a lot of ego. Men don't like admitting these type of things. Okay, but let's keep going. Verse 8.
And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude.
Now look at that. Solomon is confessed, because you know the Lord, boy, he loved confession, but he's confessing that he need help. Lord, I need help. Look at these people. This is the children of Israel, a great people, 12 tribes strong. You know how the brothers and sisters like to say that we 12 tribes strong. Well, he understood that they 12 tribes strong. Can't be numbered nor counted for multitude. And not only is they a great people, what else did Solomon understand? These people, they a mess. Solomon understood that. He knew they were great enough, but he knew they was a mess too. And I got to be able to have the wisdom and the discernment to know how to deal with these people, to deal with all of the different personalities within Israel. People got different problems. People have different needs. Now, if I try to handle this on my own, because this is what Solomon's understanding, if I try to handle this on my own, I'm going to end up doing some evil. That's why you got people in leaderships doing evil, because they won't ask the Lord for guidance. Lord, show me how to do it. Show me how to rule over these people, but be righteous while I'm doing it. But no, instead of doing that, I'm going to try to handle it. And that's why wicked decrees always end up getting made, wicked laws, wicked policies, because somebody did not want to get in contact with God and just say, Lord, show me how to do it. So this is what we see Solomon doing right here. Lord, just show me. This is a great people. I don't know what I'm doing. And so he's going to end up asking the Lord for something eventually. All right, and keep reading.
Verse 9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people?
Keep going.
Verse 10. And the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing.
So you know what Solomon basically asked the Lord for? Solomon asked the Lord for wisdom. What? Out of all of the stuff, think about it. Solomon is the king. Of all the stuff he could have asked for, he could have asked for money. He could have asked for more power, more majesty and glory. Could have asked for long life. He could have asked for a whole bunch of women. He could have asked for all that. He could have asked for different kingdoms. Lord, I want this kingdom, this kingdom, this king. He ain't asked for none. He asked for wisdom. Lord, show me how to judge this people. Allow me to be able to see the hearts and the minds of the children of Israel. Because remember, Jesus said one greater than Solomon is here, and he was talking about himself. And remember, Jesus could read your mind. He could read your thoughts and everything. Well, this is what Solomon was asking for. Because he knew, hey, I'm going to be dealing with good Israelites, bad ones, some that's going to come with deceit, some that's going to seem deceitful, but they mean well. He wanted to know, how do I judge? How do I deal with that? So he asked the Lord, Lord, give me wisdom. And look at this right here in verse 10. It said it pleased the Lord. Not a lot of stuff pleased the Lord. It's hard for man to please the Lord. And trust me when I say that. It's hard for man to please the Lord. But it said that thing right there. It said that thing pleased the Lord. And the Lord is going to bless Solomon, brothers and sisters. We're going to get to it. But he's going to bless Solomon for asking for that wisdom. Let's go real quick to James chapter 4. James chapter 4, and we're going to read verse 3.
James chapter 4 and verse 3. You ask and receive not, because you ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lust.
Now, see, Solomon asked for wisdom. Okay? And only a righteous man and a righteous woman is going to ask for such a thing. Because, see, their mind is always on, how do I please the Lord? How do I get in God's good graces? How do I help others? Because in Solomon asking for this, we do understand that that was a great act of love. That was a great act of love from Solomon to the people, because I want to know what it means to treat others right. That's essentially what Solomon was saying when he was asking for wisdom. I want to know how to treat others right. Give me the mind to be able to know how to treat others right. Because being able to treat somebody right, brothers and sisters, that's a skill. That's an art form. You have to know how to do it. It's not as intuitive as you think it is. But see, unlike Solomon, the children of Israel, they don't ask for stuff like that. These carnal Israelites. They asking for a big house. Lord, give me a big old house. That thing got to be 3 stories. It's got to be 3 stories, man. And then this car, boy, it's this Maserati I've been looking at. And the wheels look like eyeballs. They look like they just stand at me every time I ride by it. Israel asked for women, the women asking for men. And that's not a bad thing. But everything Israel asks for is always for themselves. It's always to satisfy their own flesh. They don't ask the Lord for wisdom like Solomon. Hey, Lord, as a man, give me wisdom on how to be a good husband to my wife. Give me wisdom on that. Why Israel don't ask for stuff like that? Give me wisdom to be a good husband to my wife. Give me wisdom to be a good father to my children. And likewise, Lord, give me wisdom to be a good wife to my husband. Give me good wisdom to be a good mother to my children. But what we ask, Lord, give me them Jordans. Oh, Lord, please. The retro 19s coming out, and I really just want to be able to get them. That's the stuff Israel asked for. Lord, give me the wisdom to be able to take care of my people. We don't ask for these things. And we wonder why our life is a mess, and we wonder why our community is a mess. Because when you're speaking to God, if everything is always about you, then your vision is too small for the Lord. If your vision does not involve helping someone else, your vision too small for him. Everything is always about you, what you need, what you want. How often do you even pray for someone else? This Israelite, they don't even pray for other people. Lord, pray for me and pray for my camp. Lord, pray for me and pray for my church. How often do you pray for your other brothers and sisters? That's not just in the truth, but those that are lost and outside. How often do you pray for them? Because the bottom line is we are a selfish group of people. We got to stop that stuff, brothers and sisters. But anyway, we're going to keep going, brothers and sisters. We're going to go to 2 Chronicles chapter 2, because like I said, the Lord, he was pleased that Solomon had asked for wisdom above all of the things that he could have asked for. Oh, I'm in 2 Corinthians.
Oh.
I was like, this don't look right. 2 Chronicles chapter 1, and go ahead and read verse 11.
And God said to Solomon, because this was in thine heart, and thou hast not asked riches, wealth, or honor, nor the life of thine enemies, neither yet has asked long life, but has asked wisdom and knowledge for thyself, that thou mayest judge my people, over whom I have made thee king. Wisdom and knowledge is granted unto thee, and I will give thee riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had that have been before thee, neither shall there any after thee have the like.
So because Solomon thought not just about himself, because he thought about God first, and then he thought about the people, which is someone other than himself, because he thought about them, the Lord gave him all these other things that men kill, steal, and destroy for. He gave him what? The riches. He gave him the honor, the long life. He gave him all of those things because he didn't think about himself. His vision wasn't limited to just himself. I want to know how essentially to do right by other people. Because being a king means that you're an authority figure, just like being a husband or a father or a wife or a mother. You know, you're in a role of an authority figure, just like being a manager, supervisor. That's an authoritative role. And you can make or break the life of those under you, brothers and sisters. And you want to be very careful when you're dealing with that, because the Lord will tear you in pieces for oppressing those under you and for making people's life under you a living hell. He will tear you to shreds. And I just have to say it because you're not going to get this at the Sunday church and some of these other passive churches that won't tell the people what God thinks. So Solomon did that was probably the wisest. See, everybody, they talk about, once God gave Solomon the wisdom, all of the great stuff he went on to do and how wise he was. No, him asking for that wisdom, that was his single greatest act of wisdom that he ever did. single greatest act for asking for wisdom. Because guess what? Even in our own individual life, you ask the Lord for wisdom. Through that wisdom, you can get the house, you can get the car, you can get the virtuous woman if you're a man, or if you're a woman, you can get the God-fearing man. He'll give you the wisdom to get all of these things, because it takes wisdom to be able to get these things that we desire. But instead of doing that, we run roughshod. Steal, kill, destroy, oppress. And guess what? You do all of that stuff and you still don't got what you want. Why? Because you won't do it the way God told you to do it. Which means what? God word right. Okay. Now, that is the end of that, brothers and sisters. Now, we're gonna get it moving now. We're gonna go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 1, and we are going to read verse 2.
Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities. All is vanity.
Okay, so Solomon is saying all is meaningless. That's what it means when it says vanity. All is meaningless. But what exactly is meaningless? He's talking about everything that man is pursuing, everything that man is working for, breaking their back for. He said it's all meaningless. And it is, brothers and sisters. And you know why it's meaningless? Hold on. But on top of that, man is trying to build a kingdom here on this earth. But you know why all of that is meaningless? It's meaningless because we're going to die one day. We are all going to die one day. And just like the Lord said in his word, every living man, okay, and woman, because woman say, see, it just said the man. No, every man that's living, including a woman, they know that they're going to die. This is why men keep themselves occupied, so that way they don't have to think about this. Like I said, they work themselves to death. They want to go to the club. They go on movie marathons, so that way they don't have to think about this death. Because one way or another, brothers and sisters, we're going to leave this life behind, whether we die or Jesus come back. This life going to be over one way or another, and we got to face the music. You know, I was going to say, I had some friends that I knew in high school that, you know, they died, but I still remember the days when we were in high school, and, you know, my friends talked about all of the stuff they wanted to do. You know, yeah, man, when I get older, I want to do this and I want to become a that. And I plan on having this. And they dead, brothers and sisters. Dead. They whole life up to that point meaningless because they died. And they left all of that stuff behind, all of the dreams. Because it ain't just the physical stuff, but it's also the intangible stuff like dreams and aspirations, hopes, desires, all of those things, brothers and sisters. They left all of that behind. Even all of the talks I had with them, all of it was vanity. Why? Because they're gone. And this is the music that we must hear, and the music we must face. That's why, even though I'm still young, I don't put my treasure here on this earth, brothers and sisters, because I know I could get in some accident, something bad could happen to me. And I'm going to leave all of that behind. That's why the Lord says, flee youthful lust. Because see, when you're young, you're still new to the world. Everything is fresh to you. You want to go here, you want to go there. You want this, you want that. But the Lord said, flee those things. And why you going to flee those things? Because one day you going to come and see me. And I promise you, all of that stuff that you wanted, hey, it's going to flee from you. And you're going to have to face me. So while you're young, instead of chasing this stuff that Satan got the offer, come and serve me. Come get the real life insurance. You know how them companies trying to sell you life insurance. No, the Lord is selling the real life insurance. So when you die or I come back here, your future is secured. Then you can set your own kingdom up in the eternity. Why? Because you're going to live forever. Desires, dreams, hopes, all of those things will never depart in the eternity because you're going to live forever, brothers and sisters. Now you can pile up gold in your house. You can pile it up. I mean, just till it's coming out the front door. I mean, it's coming out. They said, man, Reggie Jr., you can't even get in the house. There's so much gold in here. I say, yeah, I got to figure out what to do with it. I'm in the eternity. Yeah, I got to figure out what I want to do with it. But you're going to live forever. So you can have all of these things, but right here in this flesh age on this earth, I don't even worry about this stuff, brothers and sisters. I know we have to do what we do to get by. We have to go to work, pay our bills, provide for our wives and our children. We have to do those things because that's just a part of, just the everyday life, the vanity we've been subjected to, just like he told Adam. But deep down, I know, brothers and sisters, what really matters. That we serve the Lord, that we love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, and mind. That's what truly matters. Okay, but let's go real quick to John chapter 1. I meant 1 John 1. No, 1 John chapter 2.
First John chapter 2 and verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world.
Now, real quick, what are some of those things? Again, house, cars, going to the best restaurant, designer clothes, shoes. Oh man, the iPhone 19. Oh, the Galaxy S51. Oh my, the Google glasses. These are all things that are of the world, brothers. So this is the stuff, man, killing each other over and oppressing each other for. Keep going. 17.
And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever.
That's right. So one thing we could count on is what the Lord say right here. The world passeth away. And brothers and sisters, that's whether you die or whether the Lord come back. He is guaranteed you that God isn't making some type of prediction or some type of observation. No, he is telling you the hard fact. This world is going to pass away one way or another. But he said, though heaven and earth pass away, though, not my word. My word going to abide forever. And if this word is in you, brothers and sisters, guess what? You're going to abide forever. Long after millions and billions and trillions and trillions and trillions and more trillions. I can't even come up with enough trillions. And zillions of years have passed by. You still gonna be here because that word abided in you. I don't want to give that up, brothers and sisters, for this stuff here in the world. This stuff is meaningless. I mean, just think about stuff today. I have an iPhone. Let's just what was one that was real big? The iPhone 6. I remember when that iPhone came out. I believe it was the iPhone 6, and everybody was going nuts. Oh man, I gotta get the iPhone 6. Oh, hold on, y'all. They got the iPhone 6 Plus, where the iPhone is this big, but you get the 6 Plus, it get that big. But look now, we on the iPhone what? What's the latest one? iPhone 15. Ain't nobody talking about that iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus. That show you right there, everything is vanity. Because one thing that I understand is that, the human appetite is insatiable. And we're going to talk about that a little later. But we could never be satisfied, brothers and sisters. And that right there alone should show us the vanity. We eat at one restaurant that we obsessed over. Oh, boy, I love this right here. Oh, boy, this is good. Just eating and having our hearts content. But then we get tired of that restaurant. And what do? We move on to the next one. Somebody say, hey, you want to go to this restaurant down here? Nah, I've been to that restaurant a lot. I'm good. I don't care about that no more. I'm going to this new one down here. It's vanity, brothers and sisters. Think about the stuff just a few decades ago, the 1980s, the 70s, the 60s, stuff people desired. Look, man, in 2024, people ain't worried about that stuff that they desired way then. They on this new kick, this new stuff. Forget the retro Jordan 15s. We on the 25th now. I don't even know what they on. I'm just making it up. But that show you the carnality, brothers and sisters. And you know what that's called, R.J. Lloyd? I just need it to work. You know what that's called? That's called contentment. That right there is what all men need, right? That they need some contentment. And that's what we lack. Okay. Now, where we ended off?
We ended with
17.
17.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to 2 Peter chapter 3. Because the Lord told us this world gonna end one way or another, and that first way is through death. But there is another way this world also going to end, brothers and sisters. Another way this fourth beast don't ever think it's going to ever end. 2 Peter chapter 3, and we are going to read verse 10.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
You know why it's going to come as a thief in the night? Because Israel and the rest of the nations, they're going to be living it up when Jesus literally come back here, living it up.
In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
So the Lord say, look, hey, heavens and stuff, it's going to pass away with a great noise. And why is this stuff going to pass away with a great noise? Because Jesus, he going to come back with his tens of thousands of saints who've been used and abused from the beginning of time. They're going to come back and they're going to take this world down, brothers and sisters. All the hard words we was made to hear from the beginning of time. Because the saints ain't just being oppressed in 2024, but from the beginning of time. We had to sit there and take it from the wicked. We had to deal with them hard speeches and them wicked decrees that they decreed. But the Lord telling you here, hey, listen, man, when I get here, the world definitely gonna pass. Because you know why? The Lord gonna burn this earth up. He gonna torch it. A big flamethrower on the whole. Buildings, all of these things gonna get knocked down. Clubs, restaurants, McDonald's, Burger King, the Cancun Islands, all of these places and things that men desire, iPhone factories and Galaxy factories, bread factories, all of these things going to be torched. And why? Because it's much oppression everywhere, brothers and sisters. Everywhere these places have been, there have been bloodshed. There has been oppression. So the Lord going to have to cleanse this earth. So when all of these things get swept away, guess what? All of those desires and lust, it's going to go with it. Because guess what? Them cars, them houses, it's going to all be burned to ashes. So if that's gone, well, where's your desire for those things now? Now that they're gone. Now that they're in the dustbin of history. No, brothers and sisters, we in a new age now. New heavens and a new earth. We in a new age. That former way of thinking, those former desires and hopes, all of those things are gone out the window. And that's what we await, brothers and sisters. We are awaiting the next life. We're awaiting the new heavens, the new earth. That's where I and I hope you also placed your treasure at. In that life to come, the world to come. That's where you need to be trying to build your kingdom at, is in that life to come. I think about some heathens that I know. They got these big titles, they got all of this money, and they old and gray, still trying to work, still trying to get all of this stuff. And that's exactly what it is. What it is stuff. Stuff that they not going to be able to take with them when they leave this earth or when Christ come back here. All that for nothing, brothers and sisters. And Solomon, he's going to elaborate on that a little more later. We'll get to it. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and go back to Ecclesiastes 1. So Ecclesiastes chapter 1. And we're going to read verses 3 through 7.
What profit have a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun?
Nothing, because we labor for all this stuff, but we're going to die anyway. Keep going.
One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever.
Yep. Just like I was telling some of my friends that I knew in high school that had died. Hey, everything's still going on just like they never died. Everything is still continuing, man, still doing their thing long after they've been dead. Keep going.
The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again.
Now, let's just look at history, right? Because we know in like our local library and everything like that, we know that there are a lot of history books. And the Lord allowed man to make these history books. And he allowed man to make these history books so that way we can look back and see the vanity in it all, right? Because if we look back just a couple of hundred centuries, right? Or probably more centuries than that, brothers and sisters, it's been many empires, many kings that have risen and fell. You know, you had great men and women of past generations' day that were talked about, that we don't even know ever even existed. We have no idea, some of us, unless we read a history book. Oh, this guy existed? He invented this? Oh, wow. Never knew about him unless I would have read it in this history book. Why, brothers and sisters? Because as time go on, everybody and everything gets forgotten, gets left in the past. And guess what? New generation rises up. Hey, they do their thing. See, everybody want to be remembered too over here on this side. No, you're going to be forgotten. I don't care how much you try to be remembered. More time go on, everybody going to forget about Michael Jackson. He still pop up every now and then, but eventually he going to be completely forgotten. And the only way you're going to know about him is if you read some book on him or something. There was a guy 200 years ago. His name was Michael Jackson. But outside of that book or some of that audio tape, you would have never known about him. But see, in our day, he was great. Oh man, yeah. Well, they had those same type of people 2,000 years ago. Do you know any great men and stuff from 2,000 years ago? I'm not talking about kings now. I'm talking about just in society who was famous and popular over 2,000 years ago. Do you know anybody like that? You know any inventors from 2,000 years ago? No, you don't, brothers and sisters. They have been forgotten, and the world continues to move on as it does. Let's go to 2 Peter chapter 3. I told y'all, brothers and sisters, I write up a lesson. I don't study it or nothing. I just write it up, and when the day comes, we just gonna get at it. I come straight from the heart.
Second,
So 2 Peter chapter 3, and we're gonna read verse 4.
and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
Now we know the Lord coming back, but that's not why I came here. I came here because it's true, brothers and sisters. All things continue on as they were. From the time of Adam all the way down to 2024, the sun come up, then it go back down into its chamber. The moon come up, then the moon go away. The stars still shine. We still feel the wind blow. Nothing has changed, brothers and sisters. All remains the same. And those of the past, they've been forgotten. They have been forgotten. And that right there, brothers and sisters, that is the futility of man. And the Lord has these things set up like this because he's trying to show us that it's all vanity. That stuff is meaningless that you chasing. You want to be remembered in the kingdom. That's where you want to be remembered. Because when I resurrect you and bring you back, you're going to live forever. Think about that, y'all, for a second. I seen a picture one time of some dude not a picture, but there's a demonstration one time on YouTube that I seen, and this preacher, he was like, he had like a long string. I mean, the string was super long, but at the tip of the string, the very tip of the string, he put like a red mark or some type of red dot on the tip of the string, and the string was super long. He said, we're going to let this little dot determine the rest of that string. Because he used to my people want to do evil and stuff like that, and they're going to let that little evil right there determine the rest of that outcome, the rest of that string. He was referring to the eternity. It's not worth it, brothers and sisters. So I'm willing to be ridiculed and humiliated and tell me, people telling me, you missing out. Because I get told that a lot from other young people. Oh, you missing out. Oh, bro, you lame. All you want to do is sit home and, read your Bible. Think about God all day. You don't be traveling. You don't do none of that. Your life boring. Brothers and sisters, I'm willing to take that. And I'm sure a lot of y'all, you've gotten that. But I'm willing to take it, brothers and sisters. I'm willing to give my young life up. And a lot of you young people that's listening, you got to be willing to give your youth up to serve the Lord. Give this life up. I know it's hard because there's a lot of temptations. Satan got a stronghold on this world, boy. He do. People want to serve God. They just can't get this stuff up. I love the money. I love getting to go where I want to go. I love having sex. I love doing drugs. I like doing all of that stuff. People don't want to get that up to serve God because that doesn't pleasure them. But that temporary pleasure is going to get you banished for eternity. No, like I said, I'm trying to be remembered and revered by the Lord and the angels in heaven. And I want to come back and I want to rule this earth for eternity. You never get old. You never get sick. Even when I get sick, wake up 106-degree fever, that make me all the more long for the kingdom and our new bodies. It gives me something to look forward to. I don't look at it as just pain and just, man, this is misery. Even though it is misery, it sucks. But it gives me something to hope for, something to look forward to. Those new bodies. Never cry, no pain, never get sick, around forever. Brother Sean Hughes, Lord willing, you'll see Sister Sheila again. You'll see your wife again. We have hope in Jesus. We have hope, brother, in the resurrection. And Lord willing, when we all die or Christ return, we will all, Lord willing, see each other again. I know it's hard and I know it sucks. That pain you feel, I mean, it feel like somebody just ripped your heart out your chest. But the pain will pass, brother. It'll pass. It sucks. The pain will pass and we too shall pass. But we will see each other again in that resurrection. She died in the Lord and that word was in her and that word abideth forever. So guess what? When the Lord resurrect her, she is going to abide forever. You, brother, will abide forever. But let's keep reading, y'all. Where did I end off at?
That was the end of 2 Peter 3 and 4.
Oh, okay, that was the end of that? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to try to speed it up just a little bit. Ecclesiastes 1, we're going to read verse 8.
All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it.
Man so tired, they can't even tell you why they tired. Y'all ever ask somebody, say, man, what you so tired for? They just say, man, I don't even know. Working every day, men wearying themselves trying to obtain things that they need and things that they want. Go ahead.
Right. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing.
So, in other words, what Solomon is saying is like what I was saying earlier, and that's that the human desire, the human appetite is insatiable. We just crave more and more, and we want more and more. We can never just get something and just be good. We always desiring the next thing and the next new thing. That this is the reality of our flesh, brothers and sisters. This is the reality. But see, what I was saying with RJ Lord in the chat was exactly the mindset that we have to have. And that's, brothers and sisters, the fact that we have to be content. And brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you that contentment only comes from the Lord. All right. But let's go real quick, though, to Proverbs 27. Okay. Let me get the Proverbs chapter 27. And we are going to read verse 20.
Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 20. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied.
That's right. That's right, hippie for God. Trying to fill a void that can never be filled with these earthly things. But think about it. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. Just think about that. There's always something we want, always something that we desire. But brothers and sisters, that void can be filled. Man, it was so sad one time looking at, it was a video that my sister showed me with who was it? Bow Wow?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, it was just so sad looking at him. He said, man, everything is what? Pointless. Just what Solomon said. And why wouldn't we listen to Solomon anyway? The man, he had it all. He was a king and he was wealthy beyond our biggest imagination. But Bow Wow said, man, everything is pointless. He said, I got the money. He said, man, I got plenty of money. He said, all of the cars and everything. He said, man, I got that. All of the big vacation spots, Cancun Islands, Jamaica, all of these places, the Caribbean. He said, hey, man, I've been there. I've been in them places. I've been to the best restaurants. I had the women. He said, hey, man, I had it all. Everybody was laughing at, oh, look at this kook. No, he's telling you, I had everything that people desire. And I'm here to tell you I'm not fulfilled. That's what he was telling people. And we didn't need to hear this from Bow Wow because, hey, it's right here in God's word that we don't read. That's on the coffee table and on our dash in the car. And Bow Wow basically admitted that he was miserable. That's what he was telling people. They couldn't really look past what he was saying, but he was basically saying, I'm miserable, man. I'm not happy. There was a quote one time. What it said, I forgot who it was by, but it said, I wish that men and women could get everything that their heart ever desired to find not that that's not true happiness. Bow Wow said, I wish I was y'all. Because at least I still got something to look forward to. At least I still have a goal to try to attain to. Because he got it all, brothers and sisters, and he realized I'm not happy. But you know what you need, Bow Wow? You need the word of God. See, the word of God, that don't never end. That's forever. God's words is forever. That'll fill that void you looking for. That's what you need right there. You're not happy because you're disconnected from your God. Because man was not placed on this earth for no house, for money, for cars, and for all of this mess that Babylon got for us. We weren't put on this earth for that, brothers and sisters. We were put on this earth to decide who we were going to serve. You're going to serve God, or you going to serve Satan. That's what you're here for. You're here to make a choice, man. And once you make that choice, you live out the rest of your life holding on to that choice until you die. And then you will be rewarded at the end depending on the choice that you made. That's why you're here. Okay, but where do we leave off? We need to go ahead and try to wrap this up a little bit. Proverbs 27 and 20.
Yeah. So
we read that?
Yeah, we finished that.
Nice. Okay, now we can go to 1 Timothy chapter 6.
First Timothy chapter 6, 6 through 8. But godliness with contentment is great gain.
See, Bow Wow, that's what it is. Godliness with contentment is great gains. Not a house, not a car, not women, not none of that. Godliness, living a righteous life, doing that which pleases the Lord your God. And I'm telling you, you be obedient to the Lord, boy, there is nothing more fulfilling than that. And also, how you serve God is by loving your brothers and sisters. Charitable works, acts of kindness, showing love to others. Man, I'm telling you, ain't no better feeling than that. Because see, here in Babylon, we're taught how to be selfish. Those are the ways of the dragon. Be selfish. It's all about you. Get yours. It don't matter if everybody else suffering and struggling. You get yours. And that right there is why people in Babylon ain't happy, though they have it all. No, serve the Lord your God. Do that which pleases him. Love your brothers and sisters. Love those around you. There is no greater fulfillment than that. You can't put a price on that, brothers and sisters. Okay, keep reading.
Verse 7. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
I remember my parents, they used to tell me that, boy, ain't gonna be no U-Haul. When you die, ain't no U-Haul that's gonna bring all your stuff. No, ain't gonna be none of that, brothers and sisters. That's why that's what Job understood. He said, naked I came, and naked I'm gonna return. And Job was a wealthy man, very well-off man, but he understood that. That's why it hurt Job to his soul when he lost his children. He lost all that in just a matter of days. He lost his children. Then his herdmen got killed, and everybody just overlooked that. Oh, his herdmen got killed. Anyway, move on. No, you do know he had relationships with these men. They sat at his table. They ate with him. That crushed him when the Sabaeans fell on him. So he understood, even though it hurt him real bad. He ripped his mantle. They just ripped it. And he bowed down to God and said, Lord, naked I came, and naked I shall return. Because you know what it meant that Job, even though it hurt him real bad, now he knew that he wasn't truly attached to these things. And brothers and sisters, you can't have no attachment to this stuff in this world. Your attachment should be to God and God only, because the Lord is forever. That's why people be screaming on their deathbed, because they attached to too much stuff in Babylon and they don't want to let it go. On the bed hollering, ah! 8 doctors got to hold in and hold the brother or the sister down. They screaming because they don't want to leave this stuff behind. They done built their kingdom on this earth. And this is the reality. This is really what people need to be sitting down and reading, stuff like this. That's why it was easy it wasn't easy, but that's why it was easy for John the Baptist to give up his life, for Jesus to be crucified, a brutal death, by the way, for other saints getting stoned to death. That's why it was so easy. It wasn't easy, but that's why it was easy. You know why, brothers and sisters? They didn't have no attachments. This was not their world. They were not of this world. That's what Jesus said. He said, hey, I'm not of this world. And we too, we must not be of this world, but of the world to come. So guess what? In the near future, when this beast really rise up and starts destroying the saints at an alarming level, you won't be hollering and screaming. You can stay loyal to God, because you know I didn't put my trust, my treasure, my hope on anything on this earth. Because like our father Abraham, who was a prophet, by the way, he understood we just sojourners. We just passing through. That's all it is. That's all this is, brothers and sisters. We just passing through. We have heartaches, we have pains, we have our good days. But at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, we just passing through. We just sojourners on this earth. Okay, but we're going to keep reading.
Verse 8. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
And a part of raiment is clothes, and a part of raiment is shelter, because that's a form of clothing. So the Lord basically telling you food, water, and shelter. Everything else, throw it out the window. You don't really truly need those things. So all you need is food, water, and shelter to get by in this life. That's what he's telling you. You don't need all of this other stuff that Satan is offering you. Stuff people getting in debt for. Can't even sleep at night. They got so much debt. They in so much debt. I mean, they trying to do anything to get out of it. That's why when the commercials come on, they come running to the commercial. That promise to get them out of debt and everything. I have an annuity and I need cash now. Because you was greedy. Because you weren't content. So now you got to depend on 877 cash now. Because you wouldn't listen to the Lord. That ain't saying that, people don't go through troubles and hardships, but most people, the stuff is self-inflicted. I mean, it's the truth. Yep, that's right, bro. Israel 877 cash now. But let us be content, brothers and sisters. Think about the futility of man, for example. You got thieves that have gotten shot and killed trying to rob a bank. Home invasion, trying to grab TVs and jewelry and all that, got blown away. All of that for nothing. They dead, brothers and sisters. They desires and all of that stuff is gone, got blew away. So it just show you, just serve God. Even when you get old, your bones start hurting, your tendons and your ligaments starting to ache. That show you right there, just serve God. Just serve God. Food, water, and shelter. That is all you need. You don't need a 3-story house in some exquisite neighborhood. You don't need some luxury vehicle. You don't need none of that stuff. Love God and love his people. And you can't go wrong, brothers and sisters. But let's keep going. That's right, Darren. Keep it simple.
I think that was it.
That was it?
Verse 8. Yeah.
Verse 8. Okay. All right. Now we can go ahead and go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 1. And we are going to read verses 9 through 11.
Right. Verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
Because, see, each generation thinks that they're doing something new. But, brothers and sisters, the desires and the mindset, it remains the same. That's why there's nothing new. Yeah, there may be newness in terms of technology and all of those things, but that's not what God is talking about. No, he's talking about the mindset, the desires, the way of man remains the same. That's essentially what he's talking about. All right. But we're going to keep reading because I don't want to do too much talking.
Okay, verse 10. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new?
Nope.
It have been already of old time, which was before us.
Yep.
There is no remembrance of former things.
Unless you read it in the book or something, and then you say, "Oh wow, I thought we was doing something new. They was doing this 1400 years ago."
Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after.
So guess what? Long after we pass, our works, the kingdoms, all of this different stuff we doing, it's gonna be a relic of the past. And the generation after, each generation that come up think they something hot. They think they special. But guess what? We end up all being a relic of the past. So again, it come down to what, brothers and sisters? Just serve God. Just serve him. Okay? And we're gonna keep reading.
Verse 12. I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. And I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail have God given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith.
Man, that's Romans 8:20. And it tells us that God subjected us to this vanity. And it started with Adam, brothers and sisters, and we're going to read it here shortly, but that started with Adam. When he decided, look, man, I don't want to do it God's way. I'm going to listen to the man with the hoofs. That's who I'm going to listen to. From that day forward, when Adam decided he was going to listen to the man with the hoofs, we've been subjected to vanity. We've started dying. So guess what? All that man break they back over, sweat for, it's all for nothing, brothers and sisters. Why? Because death entered into the scene. You done made you a pretty little garden and all of this stuff. Don't mean a hill of beans. You know why? Because you're going to die. And the person that succeeds, you're going to mess it all up. Because they didn't have to work hard to do nothing. So they're going to mess it all up. So, when it all come back down to it, brothers and sisters, just serve God. But let's go ahead and read Genesis chapter 3 and how God gave us over to this miserable fate that Solomon was talking about. We're going to see when he subjected us to this vanity that we're experiencing. We all experiencing it, brothers and sisters. No exceptions. So we're going to read Genesis chapter 3, verses 17 through 19. This is when the Lord had subjected us to this vanity. So Genesis chapter 3, verses 17 through 19.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife,
who listened to who? The man with the hoofs.
And has eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field.
And hold up right quick. Now, because our people, in the ancient times, a lot of what man did was based off of agriculture. We don't know nothing about that today because we under a corporate regime. But back in those times, man thrived off agriculture. So, thorns and thistles, but that's not what he's talking about. What the Lord is talking about is the troubles and the hardships of life. That's what he's referring to. Thorns and thistles literally in the ground and stuff. That's what he's talking about, but he means it in terms of all of this mess man was going to be going through. crying, pain, heartache. Didn't the Lord call it? He called it, didn't he? Everything, man, I'm telling you, that's how I know this word is real, because I could just read it and I can just look out and I say, man, every word that the Lord said is real and has come to pass. Okay, but keep going.
Verse 19. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread.
You're going to work your, man, you're going to be worked to death. Go ahead.
Till thou return unto the ground.
So even eating that bread, that's vanity. Because guess what? You still going to die. Because it ain't, that's the irony. We eat bread and we drink water to sustain ourselves, but yet we still die. Boy, that is some serious vanity right there. He said, till thou return unto the ground. He didn't say might return into the ground, or it's speculated that you're going to return to the ground. No, he said, till you return to the ground. That's not a prediction. That's not an observation. No, he's telling you, you're going to die, Adam. You and all of creation, you're going to die. But thank God for Jesus. Thank God for Jesus, brothers and sisters, because he has given us another chance at life, the life to come. Okay, keep going.
For out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return.
And see right here too in that verse 19, I had just seen something. It said, in the sweat of our face, thou shalt eat bread until you return into the ground. But it's by this new bread we've been given that we're going to have life, eternal life. But this bread is the word of God. This bread is Christ. Okay? But that's a whole nother subject. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go back to Ecclesiastes 1. We almost done, brothers and sisters. We almost there. Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 14.
I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight,
By man, go ahead.
and that which is wanting cannot be numbered.
That's right, by man. So, in other words, men have gotten themselves in a mess and they don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how to fix this big mess that we got. And they will never figure it out. Man better understand, you ain't gonna never figure it out. Ain't no president, prime minister, ain't nobody finna raise up and fix this mess that's going on the earth. But there is one who know how to fix it and will fix it, brothers and sisters, and he will rule forever with his saints. Let's go to Revelation 21. Revelation chapter 21 and verse 5. Because we're going to see who it is that's going to fix this big mess on the earth. Because man sure can't fix it. This kingdom is in total darkness, and there should be darkness on the kingdom of the beast. Oh, the darkness here. They don't know how to get behind. We don't know how to get our behind out of this mess. It's a mess, brothers and sisters. It's going to take a God to clean this earth up. All right. Revelation 21 and 5.
And he that sat upon the throne said,
Now, who is this sitting upon the throne, brothers and sisters? Who is this in the chat? Who is this that's sitting upon the throne that's going to fix this mess that man has made? That's right, Sister Shakitha. Jesus, Yahshua, Yah. He is the one that's going to fix this mess. That's it. I mean, you can't even describe what it is. It's just a mess. This mess that men have gotten themselves into. Jesus, he going to come and fix it up. And we know this mess started because Israel failed. We broke the chains of balance and sent the whole world into chaos. But there is one, brothers and sisters, who is Jesus, the Christ. He gonna fix this mess that man has made. Go ahead and read again. Start from the top.
And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful.
Yep, all things new, heaven, earth, as well as the minds of men, all things new. Okay, and we almost done, brothers and sisters. We getting there. Back to Ecclesiastes 1. These gonna be the last two verses. Last three, 16 through 18.
Verse 16. I commune with mine own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief. And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
And brothers and sisters, why wouldn't we listen to Solomon? You heard what Solomon just said. Why wouldn't we listen to him? This was the wisest man that ever walked the earth, second to Jesus. Okay? He had it all. Gold, majesty, glory. He had kings and queens coming to see him. He had it all. Wealth beyond our wildest imagination. He had it all. And he's telling you, all things are vanity. Even getting wisdom is it's grievous. Because you know the truth and reality of this world. And you see how much man toil and labor and torment themselves trying to get all of this stuff, not even realizing they just going to end up dying. And all of that stuff is going to be futile. Why? Because when they die, they're going to leave all of this stuff behind. And Solomon know that. He knew it by himself. All of this reigning on the throne I'm doing. Solomon know I'm going to be a relic of the past soon. And he was right. Because we here reading about him. And Solomon here, no, he dead. All that majesty, honor, glory, all of that stuff, that went out the window. So of all of these things, Solomon came to one conclusion. This is the conclusion that he came up with, and we better listen to him and listen to him well. Ecclesiastes 12. Ecclesiastes 12, verses 13 and 14. This is the conclusion. A man who has had it all. This is the conclusion that he came up with. All right, you can go ahead.
Verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
And you know what them commandments are? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and your mind. And love your neighbor as you love yourself. Because love, brothers and sisters, works no ill to their neighbor. That's what love is. Love worketh no ill to their neighbor. That's what love is. So he telling you, just love God, and love your fellow man. Verse 14.
For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Fear God until you get out of here. And that is the end of this lesson, brothers and sisters. I just want to say thank you for following along with me and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I had fun with this lesson. Sometimes I be learning new stuff, brothers and sisters, when I be teaching. You know, sometimes Lord put something on your heart and you end up being taught by yourself. You're like, man, I ain't never seen that before. So that's it, brothers and sisters. I hope you guys enjoy your day. The chat will be on a little bit so that way you guys can, say goodbyes to each other, because I know we don't really get to meet often. Got a lot going on, and I just pray for all the brothers and sisters out there that's going through it right now, because it's rough for some of us at this time, boy. It's just rough, but everything gonna be all right. Everything will be okay. Pain don't come to stay. It just comes to pass. That's it. It's not coming to stay. It's just coming to pass. That's it. So peace, Israel, and I'll see you, Lord willing, in the next lesson.